Vicki?
Okay.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. And welcome to our club, Rise Higher Toastmasters, our open house. I'll go ahead and turn it over to our president of the club, Liz Foster.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you. I am so excited this morning. I love seeing all these faces. And even though some of you are members, we don't always get together because we know there's life and we meet once a month, and sometimes the Saturday may not fit in our schedule, but I'm so excited. We have a wonderful guest speaker today. I'm so excited. And one of our members will be speaking later, and that should be awesome as well, as he told us a little bit about it in his introduction of himself. It looks like Carla is back. So let's go on and have her introduce herself. Where are you calling from? What city are you living in?
I am calling from Columbus, Division H, Club, professionally speaking.
Great. Thank you so much, Carla. We're so glad to have you on.
I heard my name, but I was deeply surrounded by grandchildren.
I understand.
How do you spell shot boy lava girl? Oh.
Okay. Great. That's wonderful. And your grandkids are here too. So we're excited to have as many people as we can have on board. I saw somebody have a spouse walk in and out. I think that was Janet. Or somebody came in and said, hey. So we're just excited when we have extra people. Vicki's daughter joins a lot. Her kids join during different times. And we love having people come because we don't care what age you are. That means you're going to be a Toastmaster later. So that's what we're excited about. And I'm so excited. Again, it's a wonderful morning. The sun is shining at my place too. I hope it is for you. And we have so much. We have a huge packed meeting today. But I'd like to go on and turn it over to Don Schultze. He will be introducing our theme and our guest speaker today. So Don Schultze.
Thank you, Madam President. And wow, what a great turnout today. Not only our members, as Liz mentioned, but I counted 11 guests. So that's awesome to have you. We welcome you to the Rise Higher family meeting today. I call it a family because that's really how we operate. We're friends. We act like a family because whenever we see each other, it's like that long aparted relative that we see and we want to give them a big hug. And we know right now we can't give each other big hugs, but we are virtually hugging each other in this situation that we're all in. But we're so happy to have you all here. The theme of the meeting is helping you rise higher, because that's really the focus of this club. The club was started as a means to give people additional opportunities for advanced meetings, which means advanced evaluations, opportunities to give advanced speeches, but also we have really fun table topics in this club as well. But not only that, sometimes people just can't join other advanced clubs that meet in the evenings during the work days. So we've given them an opportunity on Saturdays, and we normally will meet 10 to 12. We had a really fun little chat here at 9:30, a networking opportunity, and I'm so grateful many of you were able to join us. At this time, I really want to again welcome everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I hope that you appreciate this opportunity we all have here to rise higher in this club, and our guest speaker is going to help us with that realization. So it's now my pleasure to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker this morning serves as the current District 40 Director. He has served as the Director of the Neighborhood Health Projects Office and Community Engagement Officer for the Columbus Public Health Department for the past 15 years. As you can imagine, he's very busy right now in that area. Gene's office assists residents, neighborhoods, and the faith-based community to address the key health issues confronting them to ultimately improve community health, outcomes, and quality of life. Now, in addition to serving as a District 40 TRIO member the past 3 years, Gene has also served as the Vice President of Membership for the Encore Advanced Toastmasters Club. He's been past President and Vice President of Membership for the City of Columbus Toastmasters Club and club coach for the Progressive Speaking Toastmasters Club. While as an area director and division director, Gene assisted in establishing various new Toastmasters clubs in the Central Ohio area. In his spare time, if there ever is any spare time, Gene loves to spend time with his beautiful wife and 2 daughters, and he has a Cavachon, which is a wonderful breed of dog called, the dog's name is LeBron. He enjoys working on the lawn. That's where he writes his best speeches, he's told me, reading and also being active. So please join me in a warm welcome for our district director, distinguished Toastmaster, and my good friend, I call him my brother. Please welcome Gene Bailey with his keynote address, "You Set the Climate to Rise Higher." Again, please help me welcome Gene Bailey.
To our immediate past district director, Don Schultze, thank you. Thank you, brother. And I don't say that word lightly. I appreciate you. There is our national bird, and that national bird is the bald eagle. The bald eagle, it is said, flies into and above the storm. When all of the birds are flying away from the storm, the bald eagle and the eagle family flies into the storm. And for those of you who are pilots there is something I understand called lift. And the eagle uses the storm to lift itself into a new space and place. It is this space and place I want to share with you just a little bit about this space and place today called a climate. A climate. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and all of our distinguished guests, I'm honored and grateful for the opportunity to share just briefly with you today 7 aspects of a dynamic club's climate. The purpose of my presentation today is to challenge you as a club and as individuals on your Toastmasters journey to rise higher in your club and in your personal goals. Webster's defines the word climate as a prevailing weather pattern over a given geographic area or region. We've been talking a lot about the weather today, haven't we? What is the weather pattern in your club and the weather pattern in your Toastmasters journey? Hopefully, Wendy is going to, if she hasn't already, dropped today's handout on that is for you as well on climate. And we're going to look at that word climate letter by letter and something hopefully that you can take away with you today. The first letter in climate is C, for care. I don't know about you, but I'm finding day by day that old adage is true. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them, about our goals, about your goals, dreams, hopes, aspirations, and yes, challenges. And for me, fears. I will never forget walking through that door long before COVID. You remember when we walked through doors to our Toastmaster meetings and met the president and VP of membership, and they ushered me in to the meeting of the City of Columbus Toastmasters Club. Many great speeches occurred that night, many presentations, but it wasn't that I remember. I remember the feeling of how I felt, of the care that they showed. that led to a membership, that led to, I think I might be able to step out in leadership in this position called Vice President of Membership. But it started with care. They showed that care by the next letter, which is listening, to listen. My grandmother would always remind me, she'd say, Gene, God gave us 2 ears to listen, and he gave you 1 mouth to speak. Don't you think we should be listening twice as much as we speak? And I come to find out her words ring true day by day. It was in something called a Toastmasters Leadership Institute that I would attend and learn from a lady, about, I don't know if you can see, about this yay tall. She was an area director in a leadership session at a District 40 conference. Her name was Carol Cormillett. And she asked the question, what is the greatest attribute of a leader? And many answers came up: empathy, decisiveness, integrity. And she said, no, listening. And as we go through this, I'm going to try to make this interactive as we can, but feel free to put in the chat, why do you think the ability to listen is the greatest attribute or a great attribute? Go ahead and put that in the chat as we move forward. The next letter is I, for interact. Thank you, Kayla. I see. In understanding others, Linda, so you can understand. Awesome. Thank you. That's right. Understanding, to listen, repeat. Right. Repetition. We learn that repetition is what we practice at our club meetings, that moves words, thoughts, and actions from the conscious to the subconscious mind. World champion of public speaking, Darren LaCroix, talks about that often. Gather the facts. Yes, understanding is very important. Thank you for bearing with me. Understanding, yes, thank you. Next letter is interact. We interact as a community. And as my brother has mentioned, and I feel, a family interacts. And we do that by asking the questions. Asking questions. When I first walked through that door, the president and the vice president asked me, what brings you here? They continue to ask the questions. So, Gene, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish in this journey? What do you want to learn in Pathways? These are questions that you can ask. What would you like to accomplish in your Pathways journey? Are you interested in leadership? Listening and interacting through questions. The next letter is meeting the needs. Meeting the needs. So we're asking the questions to find the need. What are the needs? Is it to learn to be a better presenter because I've got presentations I've got to make for my job? Is it learning to be a better communicator with my family, with my spouse, my children? Better communicator in the community. What are the needs? I'm learning in this journey that those needs, everyone tunes into a particular station. And I know you've heard this before as well. Do you know what station we all listen to? What radio station? It's called WIIFM. What's in it for me? I'm learning we must tune in to that radio station, almost like a combination lock. through the questions, through the interaction, through the care. Tune in to WIIFM for someone. Everyone is tuning in and looking for someone to tune in to them. The next letter is A, and A stands for attitude. Attitude. We soar higher. There's a saying about altitude. Attitude is altitude, and altitude is about your attitude. And I heard it earlier said today, attitude of gratitude, gratefulness. I know that's how I feel, a feeling of gratefulness, because in my story, which I won't go into a whole lot of it today, but I've come from a place of fear called glossonophobia, the fear of public speaking. And it was those same mentors and officers and members of the club that helped to guide me through a process that I'll talk about later. And I think actually in the next letter, a 5-step process that moved me from a place of fear to a place of continuing. We're always growing, continuing. Heard from a speaker not long ago to always put an ing on your verbs. His name was Charlie Tremendous Jones, because we're growing, we're developing, we are becoming. No one has developed, grown, or become the most. We are on a journey, a progressive journey. Now, I'm grateful to be on that journey with you. Attitude of service. We are servants. When we look at the structure of Toastmasters International, the president of Toastmasters International is here. I don't know if you can see the cameras here, and the members are here. We are servants. The elevation or the higher elevation you go in terms of service opportunities in District 40, in our region, in Toastmasters, the greater service and accountability and responsibility you must have. The next letter is T, and that stands for teach the Toastmasters system. Whether the system is the legacy system that I had the opportunity to come in, or systems before that, the Toastmasters educational systems, or the pathway system, I'm learning that they boil down to 5 steps that have catapulted me and continue to help me to grow and growing in this process. The first is prepared speeches. You're going to have an evaluation to look at what area or interest you might have to explore and to continue to grow in prepared speeches or projects. The next is extemporaneous. You're going to learn extemporaneous and impromptu speaking. We call it table topics. You might be asked a question on the spot from your boss, or you might be asked a question from your daughter, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old going to her first prom. Daddy, which dress should I wear for this fall prom? And your response could be, oh, both pale in comparison to your beauty, Trinity. So what is it that is for you in terms of extemporaneous speaking? Next is evaluation. Evaluation is we call it in our club, the magic of the meeting. Why? Because it is how we grow. When we receive feedback from trusted Toastmasters, from trusted mentors on how we can improve. I'm anxious and excited to get feedback from my mentors today and from you. We move forward. And I'll pause there for a moment. It was a seasoned Toastmaster in my place of fear with the city of Columbus. During that time, I see it clearly, clear as day. And she said, Gene, you can put away your notes and step out. And I remember sharing a speech. You can move away from your shore. And we've been moving away from our shore ever since, moving out and stepping out. There's an old saying that says, there is no growth in your comfort zone. There's no comfort in your growth zone. And there's no growth in your comfort zone. So thus we must continue stepping out. And I want to add too that the fourth step, I think it was the fourth step I was on, leadership opportunities. So leadership opportunities are in your club. You have leadership opportunities in the meetings, first of all, leadership opportunities in your club, and leadership opportunities outside of your club. If you are interested and we are looking for leaders, this isn't about us, it's about the journey and what we can hand off to those coming behind, because this beautiful system has done so much for so many of us, and thus we must prepare it. As David is going to mention, an opportunity that's coming to look at the future of District 40 as we're preparing and laying a foundation for those coming behind us. So leadership opportunities, we want you to be looking for those. And the last the fifth, which I think is the strongest, and it's the band that surrounds the previous four. It's called mentorship. Mentorship, where a seasoned Toastmaster takes you by the hand and guides you through the pathways system, Toastmaster system. And more than that, whispers in your ear, I believe in you. You can do it. The last is E, and that's for enjoy. Enjoy the process, because this is a wonderful journey. Enjoy the process of learning. Our founder, Ralph C. Smedley, said it best. We learn in moments of enjoyment, moments of pleasure. And I want to share that in those moments of enjoyment, as we share with clubs, keep coming back. You may not see the growth right away, and chances are you will not. But just like that analogy, I think it's Les Brown that talks about in China, there's a tree called the Chinese bamboo tree. And the farmer goes out and she plants a seed. In the first year, she waters and nurtures and fertilizes that seed. But in the first years, there is no sign of growth. Second year goes by, third year, fourth year goes by, continuing to water, nurture, strengthen, believe in the seed, but there is no growth. But in the fifth year, I think about the fourth month or so, the sprout of the Chinese bamboo tree breaks the earth's surface and in 90 days grows 70 feet tall. So then Les Brown asked the question, did it take 90 days or did it take 5 years for the seed to grow? Well, we know the answer, right? The answer is 5 years. Why? Because at any point in time, the farmer, would stop, would fail, would neglect to water or nurture or believe in the seed would die. Thus, many things in life I'm learning takes a process of growth and a process of belief. Continue coming back, continue. We do two things, as we mentioned earlier, in our Toastmasters Club that moves thought and behavior and habit from conscious to subconscious. And that's number one, repetition. Keep coming back. And number two is storytelling. We both do those every Toastmasters meeting. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Gene. Let's all give Gene just a roaring round of applause. Go ahead, take your microphones on, turn your microphones on. Let's give them all a round of applause. Wonderful, Gene. We appreciate you so much for coming today and sharing your wisdom and how to create the best climate possible. And it really starts with us. It really does. It starts with us and our own journey. So I'm going to be now navigating a question and answer period for you, Gene. Just for the next 10 minutes or so, we want to really get more wisdom from you and your experiences here in Toastmasters. I will ask one to kick it off, and then I'll open it up if somebody has a short question for Gene. And remember, we only have 10 minutes total, so keep your questions short so that we can get as many questions as possible.
And Don, I have a little bit more afterwards. Remember that?
Yeah, we have
Okay.
your 5-minute closing at the very end. So that's right. So, but we're good right now for 10 minutes. We're really good about that.
Great.
So Gene, my first question for you is your part about evaluation and getting the feedback. How important has that been to you? And I really want to delve into the concept of you being a part of an advanced club. How has being a part of an advanced club helped you with that evaluation and feedback so you can help rise higher yourself? Gene?
Excellent question, Don. Thank you. And very clearly, it is a matter of perspective, various perspectives. We just learned in district leadership training, if you can envision a beach ball, a multicolored beach ball, and there are various colors around the beach ball. And I might be in a position juxtaposed to you looking at a set of colors, and you're looking at another set of colors. Well, who's right? Both are right. How has the Advanced Club helped me is evaluations from various perspectives. An evaluator may give a perspective on the content of your presentation, how that can improve. Another evaluator may give evaluation on your delivery, on voice, on gestures, on the 93% of a presentation or the 38% of a presentation or the little smaller portions of presentations, all of which add up, But more than that, in every encounter I'm learning in Toastmasters, the more than that is this, is not necessarily the things that are taught, but the things that are caught that stay with us, at least for me. I'm speaking for Gene. So it's the things in between the line that are caught in the essence of sharing or in the attitude or the belief in another person. Does that make sense?
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. That's wonderful. Does anybody have a question that you have for Gene pertaining to creating that climate? And I can't see everybody, so if you have a question, just go ahead and shout out.
I can't either, so I'm just.
David Jones had a question.
David, go ahead.
I don't know if it's exactly corresponds to what you just asked for, but I was wondering, Gene, over all the speeches you've heard, which one do you remember the best?
Let me pause. I have one that's jumping out, and Don Schultze knows, I think, which one this one is. Now, are you speaking of speeches in Toastmasters or worldwide?
I'm thinking of Toastmasters, but it could be worldwide.
Well, within the world of Toastmasters, it's very easy. That one is Changed by a Tire by Prez Vasilev. And it often, when any presentations or situations come in life where you are in your journey, and where I was in my journey, my mentor was taking me to my first Toastmasters International Convention in Cincinnati, Ohio. And he was the winner of the 2013 World Championship of Public Speaking. Interesting enough, how life happens. 3 days ago, I'm talking to him because he's coming. We're going to be having him come to District 40. And but all that to say, Changed by a Tire was definitely my favorite speech within Toastmasters.
Thank you,
I
Gene.
remember that speech. It was fantastic.
It is. And if you want to see it yourself, just Google that, Changed by a
Yes.
Tire, and you can find that and watch it. I really recommend that. Thank you, Gene. And great
Thank you,
question there, David.
for that question.
Awesome.
Anybody else? Oh, Colleen. Go ahead, Colleen.
Colleen. Hi, Colleen.
Huh. Hi, Gene.
Hi.
We're a new club. I know we were officially launched in January. And I'm just wondering, outside of your climate, suggestions, if there's any one thing that you recommend we do to keep the momentum going and to keep the excellent speakers and enthusiasm that we have right now.
Excellent. One thing, I'll think one thing and maybe have two, but the first thing, which I'll recommend to all clubs, is what I was trying to model in this short presentation, and that is remember when you first arrived. Remember when you first walked through the door. Remember what keeps bringing you back. Remember the beginning. Remember the beginnings, if that makes sense. So put yourself in, and that's also putting yourself in their shoes. But it also does what? Motivates you, brings inspiration when we remember when we started, and remember what we've come through and are coming through. But there's a time to look back, to reflect, to see what we've come through. And for me, that just gives me such inspiration through gratitude. And Rabbi Daniel Labin says it best, the gateway to optimism is through gratitude. When I think about what I'm grateful for, amazing. Does that help?
It does. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Very nice. I think I saw Kathy next with a question.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you,
Hi,
Gene. Yes.
Gene.
No, I'm thanking you, Don. You know why I'm thanking you. Okay.
Hey, Gene.
Yeah.
This is Kathy.
Yeah.
Many people join Toastmasters because they are trying to advance their career or learn leadership skills. How do you envision that a club can be really successful at helping those people who come for career type goals to achieve those goals?
Excellent question. I would recommend your VPE and your officers go into the pathways system, identify those paths and those projects that are focused in those areas. So when someone arrives, you're already ready. This is what we would recommend, suggest. Of course, you can't make anyone do anything, but this is what we suggest, Don, Abdul, Mohammed, whomever, to go into these this is the path that we would recommend for you if this is what you want to accomplish. You have told us, I want to advance in my career. I need assistance in this area. These projects, these paths will get you to your goal. Does that make sense?
Certainly does. Thank you very much.
Thanks. I think I saw Jacques next. Jacques, do you have a question?
Hey,
Yes,
Jacques.
I do. So Gene, thank you. Thanks a lot for inspiration you bringing to us from your speech. One metaphor that really inspires me is what you said about the bamboo. You look at the bamboo and it takes many years to start growing, and that you see some results, right? And then when it starts growing, it grows so fast, it's incredible. In my mind, the bamboo, you don't need to take care of it. It grows so fast. But this is a lesson of wisdom. What in your experience have you experienced that in particular? I'm talking from your point of view. What particular fact in your life has nurtured that thinking?
Well, what jumps in, there's a few things, but what jumps in Toastmasters world is that it catapulted or exponential growth. It was participating in a speech contest and not winning the speech contest, placing third at a division table topics speech contest. Why it's so poignant is because I remember the space and the place in which I was hit with the 3 V's: vision, voice, and vitality. And that's why I kind of made our theme this year, because it's been my journey. Standing at a place in my living room, actually, and it really just hit in that I knew exactly what I wanted to accomplish at that time, to finish my CC and CL in the legacy system. And then a seed of voice continued to grow, and it continues to grow through this day, as you'll hopefully see in a minute too. And then also vitality. Vitality meaning growing confidence. And so that I use that V for vitality because it's the closest synonym I can find to confidence. Does that help you?
Yes, tremendously. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay, Chris, I think you had a question, and
I do have.
we are giving a little bit extra time. I see the red flag, Cheryl, but I think we do have until 10:50 before we need to end the question and answer. So thank you, though, Madam Timer. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Chris.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Okay. First of all, my fellow Toastmasters of the club, I am at church, but I just want to warn everyone, there's no service or anything going on. I volunteer on Saturdays. So there's nobody here with me, so I can listen to the meeting. And I just want to first say thank you so much for, as I was listening to Climate, I was cleaning in the church and doing things, and it just spoke to me personally, not at a Toastmasters level, but it fit perfectly into my faith life. And I just want to thank you for that. And I want to ask the question, and you could share with the group, how has Toastmasters benefited your personal life? Not necessarily how do you what have you brought from Toastmasters into your personal life? So that's my question. And thank you again for your speech.
Thank you. Oh, there's a couple dimensions and what Toastmasters has brought into my personal life. So number one, since you asked, I believe that God is my source, but he's provided Toastmasters as a resource, one of many resources for me. And as long as I keep the perspective right and keep everything in order. So what Toastmasters, and I believe he's allowed me to connect with family and mentors to guide me in a journey. It has helped one to know perseverance, meaning, so I'm a work in my physical role. So I work out every day and do push-ups and sit-ups and that kind of thing. But it's through the Toastmasters world that's taught me to keep going through the breakthroughs, or we call them in the workout, the burns. You got to go through the burns to go to the next, like the bald eagle, the next plateau, and the next one, and the next one. There's a journey. So Toastmasters has helped me in that. It's helped me, again, to learn that life is more of 3 Ps. It's practicing processes in order to progress. practicing processes. And I'm learning these processes this year more than anything. But these processes are needed, and it's a practice of the processes to progress. Okay. Does that help?
That's great. Chris, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Chris. Thank you for the question.
So, Gene, I have a quick question for you. The letter I in climate was interact.
Yes.
In this COVID situation where we can't interact in person, what tips do you have or recommendations where we can increase our level of interaction in this virtual environment?
Excellent. Well, number one, as you know, come to the meetings anytime you have a free opportunity. And believe me, when we get back in person, Liz Foster, you know, and all of you know, I can't wait to reach out and touch you. But that's just personal. But attend the meetings, come to the meetings, get with the energy. Now, what happens, I'm learning, we're all motivated differently. There's some of us that are extrinsically motivated, meaning there's external things, the pursuit of recognition, of goals. And but for me, it's intrinsic. And it's been one of that inward journey. And I would not be here if it wasn't for mentors and teachers that may see or saw or see something in me to continue to encourage me. So thus, you need to be in that environment. Not sure if that totally answered your question, but also have the mindset to what can I give back? I'm serving in this capacity in order to give back to such a resource that is giving so much to me, giving so much, back to your point, Chris, of internal belief and internal encouragement internally. And so I don't hesitate and I'm not going to start, but it's been such a pain not to be able to come together.
What I hear from you, Gene, is participating in as much as we can and giving to others. The more we give, the more we receive. That's what I'm hearing from you. Is that a good synopsis of that?
Yes, brother. Thank you.
Okay, great. Francisco, you had something real quick that you wanted to add on to that. Would you like to do that now?
This will be to echo what everybody has been saying, and of course the climate theme. Why did I join Rise Higher? Coincidentally, some of you have helped me to put together some school projects that only here with only this format, and again with the support of the club. As Gene said, you guys are all my mentors. I like the family aspect, Don. That's what one feels in a strong club, is that one can come with, again, it's a safe environment. I have something to do, this case for school. But guess what? This is all part of me getting finally my graduate degree, and finally they're starting to listen at work. And if I didn't have the chance to practice and rehearse here, I don't think I would have been as effective. So just wanted to maybe make it a testimony that it's working at work. Thank you.
Wonderful. Great, Francisco. I appreciate that. I think we may have time for one more question. Any additional questions that we want to pose to Gene for his wonderful sharing of his wisdom? If not, we'll turn it over to you to give your closing thoughts as well, Gene. Was there any other questions?
Gene, I'd like to ask you, I give a presentation called Leadership When Things Go Wrong. And I'm pretty sure I understand what you're going to say, but I'd just like to hear it again. I've heard you so many times. What do you do in times when things go wrong?
When things go wrong.
Well, your perception of things going wrong.
Yes. Well, when things go wrong, I know that this is for a brief moment because in my faith, I believe that my life is not in my hands, but I have a higher purpose and an assignment that's been given. That when things go wrong too, I must find out what is this message for me? Do I need to make a course correction? Is it something that's not of me, but I just need to endure as a good soldier in the scriptures that I follow? Do I need to love more, love my enemies more, love those that persecute me more? So what is it that I must do? And sometimes it's not anything that's because of something I've done, but often it could be other attitudes, perspectives, like I mentioned earlier. But love, I'm finding, and I think that's what many of us are attracted to as well from our culture, our climate, that we have the love. That's a synonym for the first C, care. Love does conquer a lot. I hope that helps a little bit, Brenda.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So, fellow Toastmasters, that wraps up our time for question and answer. But I would like to go ahead and turn it back over to Eugene for your closing thoughts. And Cheryl will do your time. For everybody who is participating today, please do not leave after Gene Bailey speaks. We will have an intermission, but we want you to come back for the second part to get another aspect of what Rise Higher is all about. But at this point, I would love to turn the floor back over to my friend, my brother. Please again help welcome Gene to give his closing thoughts. Gene.
Thank you, brother. Immediate past District Director Don Schultze. Let's hear it for Don. Awesome. I thank you, Don. I thank you for continuing to pull me along. I appreciate it. You know my personality. In my conclusion, I want to leave you, members and guests, with something that will help you, like the bald eagle, elevate above your storms. Research is telling us that 38% of our message is the sound our voice makes, and it's also called tonality. I am learning that our voice consists of two parts, physical and mental dimensions. For a brief moment, I want to share today with you and focus on the mental, and maybe come back at a later point to talk more about the physical. I'm learning that the mental dimension, this mental dimension, consists of three activators I refer to as see it, say it, do it. Three activators: see it, say it, do it. And hopefully Wendy is going to put in the chat a handout that you can take with you on this as well. The first activator is see it. See it. I want to do an exercise with you right now. Everyone close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes and listen to the sound of my voice. No, we're not going to a sandy beach or a warm tropical climate. You have to do that on your own. But I want you to envision, to see a picture of yourself. You're giving a dynamic presentation virtually. You are speaking with confidence. You are speaking with conviction. You are speaking with passion. And you are speaking from your heart. Your audience is fully engaged in your presentation. Can you see this image? Can you see this picture? Now hold it in your mind. A little longer. Great. Now open your eyes. Now I challenge you to repeat this exercise 2 or 3 times a day and watch, expect the growth that it will take in your life. The second activator is say it. We're going to another part of our mind now. Say it. Now I want you to repeat after me. I am, or come off of mute. All right. Please come off of mute. Everyone off of mute? Great. Repeat after me. I am a confident speaker.
A confident speaker.
I am a compelling speaker.
A compelling speaker.
I speak with conviction.
With conviction.
I speak with passion.
With passion.
I speak from my heart. My audience is fully engaged. Thank you. Now for the last activator, do it. Do it. That is the last activator, and we do it by consistently practicing activators 1 and 2 and implementing the 7 aspects of an optimal club climate I spoke of earlier. When you activate the do it, you'll find yourself inspiring others, encouraging others, empowering others, motivating others, and yes, being an advocate for those who may not have the voice yet. And most of all, serving others. And when you do this, I believe you'll find yourself soaring to new heights, new club heights, and rising higher in your Toastmasters journey. Thank you for this kind opportunity, Mr. Toastmaster.